I hate Liverpool. I want this to stop.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Liverpool football continue to spend money, or they're about to continue to spend even more money and sign Mark Gahey. Liverpool are not messing around this transfer window. They've already got Frimpong in through the door. They've already got Wirtz in through the door. They're about to announce Kirkes. They might be signing, and it is very, very concerning, possibility of Alexander Isak. And now, a very, very good option, a solid centre-back in Mark Gahey, captain of Crystal Palace. Liverpool are attempting to sign the Palace defender. Jarrell Kwanzaa has just gone, was about to go, to Bayer Leverkusen in a deal worth up to 40 million euros. So you're looking at what, £30 million for that one there? Oh man, they're not stopping, are they, man? Liverpool Football Club, what is wrong with you lot? Can you lot not just rest? Can you lot just relax, man? Relax the ball. Shout out to my brother Grizz, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The Telegraph reported today and I was like, you know what? First I was like, should I really pay attention to this? But when I deeped it, I was like, you know what? This actually makes sense for Liverpool. And it was breaking today by the Telegraph, and they said Liverpool expected to make a significant offer for Crystal Palace defender Mark Gahey. Mark Gahey. You got to remember, yeah, this guy was worth around about 70 million. I think Newcastle got rejected 70 million. Tottenham got rejected 55 million plus 10 million add-ons. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't think it's gonna cost that much money this year. I reckon Liverpool can get him for around about 40 to 45 million. I reckon probably the amount that you probably sold the Kwanzaa for. I ain't gonna lie to you. Crystal Palace at this minute right now, he's got 1 year left on his contract. They can't afford to be risky. They can't afford to be dilly-dallying around. They're already finding his replacement.
Football Club are linked to Isak again. When will it end? Please stop. Now, I've already gone through this Wirtz stuff. You might have seen a previous video. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to be salty, but I am in the same breath. It's just, what has Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards got cooking up in that literal office in AXE campus or Liverpool? I don't know what to call it. But it can't happen. But it can. That's the worst part about it. And I've done all the logistics around it and why it can happen. I had a live show and, you know, me, a gal, we had back and forth of it's not going to happen, it will happen, and why it can happen. And I'm here to explain why it can. And it's literally quite scary, the fact that I've done some mathematics on a calculator and it works out. And some. No one's even considered that yet. And the thought of thinking that Isak, there's a possible or a literal chance that this might go through might be the end of days for football. For a while anyways.
Keeps getting hotter and hotter for this Liverpool transfer window. Today is Milos Kirkes' day. And here we go from Fabrizio Romano. Basically a fee agreed, deal agreed, lower than the 45 million asking price from Bournemouth, from David Ornstein. He's confirmed as well. Everyone's confirmed. And also to add to the fray, these guys are about to ship out Jarrell Kwanzaa for the best part of 40 million euros, right? To Bayer Leverkusen. And who are they interested in bringing in? Mark Gahey. Mark Gahey. For a cut price deal as well. Because let's be honest, Mark Gahey, Newcastle were trying to get him with 4 bids last summer. 4 bids. And Crystal Palace were looking in excess of £65 million towards £70 million. And Newcastle didn't get there and they bid 4 times for this guy. Now I believe, I'm not sure about this, I believe Mark Gahey might only have a year left. Even if he doesn't, it's another year off of what last year's price was, so the price is going to come down. And Liverpool, again, continuing to make moves. In other news, Arsenal as well. Zubimendi is in London as well for talks. Not even talks, just to finalise his move to North London, to the Emirates Stadium. But if I'm being honest, guys, obviously I'm giving transfer updates throughout this early part of the window here on the Football Flex, for all the teams. But I feel like I'm talking about Liverpool all the time. It's getting boring. It's getting, it's getting silly now. It's getting silly. I keep talking about statements. I keep talking about the things that they want to do. I keep talking about how they're moving, but it's like, I've run out of words.
This is a spine-tingling statement by Liverpool. It pains me to say it. I'm fuming to say it. But I've got to be honest. Frimpong already through the door. One of the best right-backs and full-backs in European football at a cut price £28 million. The day they announced Wirtz, one of the best up-and-coming, in fact, let's scrap that. One of the best current number 10s in Europe, who's also up-and-coming because he's only in his early 20s, secured £100 million statement signing. The fanfare, the adulation, the interviews, their fans are buzzing. At the same very time that has all happened, the here we go, the confirmation that Kerkez will become a Liverpool player. And in the backdrop, which does make this sobering, which does make this a spine-shattering, chilling, worrying, concerning statement, is they are looking at Alexander Isak. We spoke about that yesterday. Large. It feels like it really could happen. More updates on that have gone forward. But they're also now looking at Mark Gahey, England's best player at Euro 2024, an excellent centre-back, future-proofing for one of two things. Could Konate leave on a free to Real Madrid like Trent did? It's plausible, possible, could happen. But there is a notion here, a movement here to at least be ahead of that curve. If he stays, it's also a replacement for Van Dijk in a couple of years to create a seamless transition. I hate Liverpool. I want this to stop.
Liverpool are moving mad this summer. They've just won the Premier League and they're just not stopping. They want to build a team that's going to do with City and win 4 Premier Leagues in a row. And I do not like this. Wirtz, unbelievable signing. Frimpong, great signing. Kerkez is going to be in the door. But I've always said, looking at Liverpool, they obviously need a striker. And when Darwin Núñez goes, they will go for a striker. But the one area of concern I've had around Liverpool, potentially, is the centre-back depth. If something happened to Konate, and let's say Kwanzaa had to step in for 10 games, or something happened to Van Dijk and Kwanzaa had to step in for 10 Premier League games, could, he potentially, fill those boots? I don't think so. I think Kwanzaa's a good player. I think he's a good talent. But, he might have a mistake in him, an error in him. I don't think he would be capable in a title race run, last 10 games of the season, stepping in for maybe Van Dijk. Joe Gomez could potentially. I think Joe Gomez is an absolutely solid player, but he's had a few injury issues. But you bring in Mark Gahey, and instantly, if something happened to Van Dijk, if something happened to Konate, and you had the 10 last Premier League games, and it's a title race neck and neck with City and Arsenal, you know that Mark Gahey could step in, and you know that you wouldn't even notice a drop-off, really. And, Van Dijk's, for me, the best centre-back in the world. Konate is an excellent centre-back, but arguably Gahey could come in and take Konate's spot, and Konate's then fighting for his spot. Liverpool could have 3 elite-level centre-backs.
We're here again. Episode 2000 of a player I like, and I like to watch, and I enjoy seeing them play the game of football, going to a rival. And then when I start liking that player at that club, they say I support the rivals. This is episode 2000 of that. It all started in 2007, actually. It all started in 2007 when a club called Chelsea decided to sign my favourite player at the time, Michael Ballack. And ever since then, It ain't stopped happening. It ain't stopped happening. This summer, it has just happened. Cherki has just gone to Man City. Florian Wirtz is going to Liverpool. I can't win. I can't win. I can't eat. And you know who has the opportunity to change that? You. You, Man United. You.
It's Liverpool again, not again. Well, it's Kirkez, here we go, but it's also Guehi to Liverpool potentially happening as well. How many deals would that be? 4, and it's not even the 21st of June. The longest day is the 21st of June in the summer. It feels like the longest transfer window at the moment. United doing next to nothing and Liverpool buying most of Europe. Kirkez not necessarily a shock, if we're being completely honest. We expected this deal to happen. Fabrizio, here we go. Liverpool agree deal to sign Kirkez as new left-back from Bournemouth. Transfer fee worth 40 million for Kirkez, who said yes to Liverpool's project 2 months ago, as revealed in May. Deal never in doubt. 40 million pounds for Kirkez, who I've got to say, with Anthony Robinson, was easily the 2 best left backs in the Premier League last season at Bournemouth and Fulham respectively. This is yet another fantastic signing for Liverpool. We'll talk about the Guehi deal in a moment. But finally, well, I say finally, it's only the 20th of June, but it has been going on for a while. So Wirtz is doing his medical, Frimpong's already done, Kirkez is here we go. What does this mean for Andy Robertson? Well, maybe we're going to see him go.